The galaxy was vast, filled with countless species, each with their own customs, traditions, and expectations. Among them, the Zorathians were known for their strict adherence to their societal norms. They were a proud, advanced race, with a culture that valued genetic purity and the preservation of their species' unique traits. Interspecies relationships were not just frowned upon, they were practically unheard of. So, when Lyra, a high-ranking Zorathian diplomat, announced her intention to bond with a human, the galaxy was stunned. Lyra was no ordinary Zorathian. She was a trailblazer, a woman who had risen through the ranks of her society with unparalleled determination. Her silver skin shimmered like starlight, and her eyes, a deep shade of violet, seemed to hold the secrets of the universe. She was admired, respected, and, in some circles, feared. But her decision to choose a human mate sent shockwaves through the Zorathian Empire. Humans, after all, were newcomers to the galactic stage. They were seen as impulsive, emotional, and unpredictable. To the Zorathians, humans were a curious anomaly, a species that had somehow managed to survive their own self-destructive tendencies long enough to reach the stars. But they were not considered equals, and certainly not suitable mates for a Zorathian of Lyra's stature. Yet, Lyra had chosen Ethan. Ethan was a human engineer, a man of average height with tousled brown hair and a perpetual smile that seemed to disarm even the most stoic of aliens. He had been part of the team that had helped repair a critical Zorathian space station, and it was there that he and Lyra had first met. Their connection was immediate, a spark that defied logic and reason. They spent hours talking, sharing stories of their respective worlds, and discovering a profound understanding of one another that transcended species. When Lyra announced her decision to bond with Ethan, the Zorathian Council was outraged. They demanded an explanation, a reason why she would defy centuries of tradition for a human. Lyra stood before them, her head held high, and spoke with a conviction that left even the most hardened council members speechless. "I have chosen Ethan not because he is human," she said, her voice steady and unwavering, "but because he is the one who understands me in ways no Zorathian ever could. He sees beyond the surface, beyond the expectations and the traditions that have bound us for so long. With him, I am not just a diplomat or a Zorathian, I am Lyra. And that is enough." The council was silent, but their disapproval was palpable. They could not understand how Lyra, a paragon of Zorathian virtue, could choose a human over one of her own kind. But Lyra was resolute. She and Ethan were bonded in a private ceremony, attended only by a handful of close friends. It was a simple affair, but it was filled with love and a sense of defiance that resonated throughout the galaxy. As the years passed, Lyra and Ethan's bond only grew stronger. They faced countless challenges, from the scorn of the Zorathian elite to the skepticism of other species. But through it all, they remained steadfast in their commitment to one another. Their love became a symbol of hope, a testament to the idea that true connection could transcend even the deepest divides. But the truth behind Lyra's choice was even more astonishing than anyone could have imagined. It began with a discovery, a hidden archive deep within the Zorathian homeworld. Lyra had always been curious about her species' history, and she had spent years researching their origins. What she found was a secret that had been buried for millennia: the Zorathians were not the pure, unaltered species they believed themselves to be. Long ago, the Zorathians had been on the brink of extinction. Their planet had been ravaged by a catastrophic event, and their population had dwindled to a mere handful. In a desperate bid for survival, they had turned to genetic engineering, splicing their DNA with that of other species to ensure their survival. Among those species were the ancestors of humans. The truth was that Zorathians and humans shared a common genetic heritage. The very traits that the Zorathians prized, their resilience, their adaptability, their capacity for emotion, were traits they had inherited from their human ancestors. The Zorathians had erased this knowledge from their history, choosing instead to believe in their own purity and superiority. Lyra was stunned by the revelation. She had always felt a deep connection to Ethan, but now she understood why. Their bond was not just a matter of love, it was a matter of destiny. They were two halves of a whole, a reunion of species that had been separated for millennia. When Lyra revealed the truth to the Zorathian Council, the reaction was mixed. Some were horrified, unable to accept that their species was not as pure as they had believed. Others were intrigued, seeing the potential for a new era of understanding and cooperation between Zorathians and humans. For Lyra and Ethan, the discovery only deepened their bond. They became ambassadors, not just for their own love, but for the idea that all species were connected in ways they could not yet understand. They traveled the galaxy, sharing their story and advocating for unity and acceptance. In the end, Lyra's choice to bond with a human was not just an act of defiance, it was an act of hope. It was a reminder that love, in all its forms, has the power to transcend boundaries, to bridge divides, and to reveal truths that have been hidden for centuries. And as they stood together, hand in hand, looking out at the stars, Lyra and Ethan knew that their love was just the beginning of a new chapter in the history of the galaxy, a chapter filled with endless possibilities.